Hi guys.
Hey, Deana. I'm so glad that you're here with us on Swanky Southern Nights. And we are literally just thrilled to have you. In fact, we're so thrilled to have you that we're going barefoot today. It's just in your
No.
honor.
Oh, well, good, good. It's summertime. Let's do it while we can,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Yes,
So
yes.
when you do shows, Deana, are you still just are you barefoot every time you do a show, or most of the time?
You know, it depends. And it depends really like festivals. Sometimes the stages are with
Oh,
quick turnover and stuff like that.
yeah,
They can be dangerous.
yeah,
Actually, they're like wood, yeah,
yes,
plywood and all that. So
Don't
you got
want
to
to
be
splinter.
careful.
Yeah, no splinters.
Yes, which has happened.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, it really depends. But it's funny because if I don't wear shoes, like, I mean, if I do wear shoes, people get mad.
yeah.
Sometimes they're like, take your shoes off. And so I think that you really cling to those memories,
Yeah.
or whatever was impressionable or
Yes.
what attached you to certain people or
Yeah.
things or styles or whatever. So
Yeah.
I always, I always do address it though.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you know,
Yeah.
I
And we
can't or whatever. I got them on. Look at these shoes, and I'm trying to make them sparkly and wild, so at least if
yeah.
I wear them, that people kind of go, "Oh,
Yeah, well, no wonder she's not barefoot. She's got really cool
yeah,
That's
shoes. Right,
right.
I got
That's
it.
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
exactly."
Yeah, so Brenda Lynn shaved her legs for this too. So
I
there's
did. I
that.
Oh,
did.
So it's
perfect.
just in your tribute,
Well,
really. She doesn't usually do
yeah,
that. No, I'm just kidding. She does. Sorry.
yes.
Oh
Well, it's
my.
leg shaving. It's leg shaving season too. See, that
Yeah.
means Labor Day.
That's
Labor Day,
right.
you're done. You don't have to do it anymore. So Memorial Day.
That's right.
So,
This is the most interesting way we've ever gotten into an interview, I must say.
Well, I got to tell you, Deana, I've been following your career for years, and I feel like I know you. I know I don't know you personally, but I've been following your career for years, and Brenda Lynn has as well,
Yes.
and just love all of your music, and from the get go, and even some of the more recent things that you've done as well. And we want to talk a little bit about that, but also talk about your concert coming up in McMinnville. But we are on Southern Roots Radio, and we love talking about origins and roots and kind of how people got started. And I'm also a big fan of Fred Carter Jr. So,
oh,
yeah, I was a session guy on Music Row for years, a session singer, and his legacy, obviously just enormous, and on Music Row and Nashville music and just music in general. And so obviously that was a big influence on you growing up. Tell us a little bit about your roots.
I'm so proud to be a Nashville native. Like
Yeah.
that is like unicorn territory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a rarity these
and,
days. Yeah.
and yes, if you have a career and you're from Nashville, it's like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just growing up in the studios there, the Row was such an iconic metropolis, like just a
Yeah.
nucleus
Yeah.
of creativity, of teamwork.
Yeah.
It was like I always called it frat row because they had the banners out and all that. Now they've got
Yeah.
them in the yards, but they used to have them on the buildings and
Yeah.
in the old antebellum homes, and it really did
Yeah.
look like before they developed it all. Old school Nashville, like in the 70s
The
and
heyday.
80s.
The heyday.
Oh man,
Yes.
it looked like fraternity houses,
Yeah.
and I came up in that, and the publishers, the
Mm.
PROs, the performing right
Yeah.
organizations, the labels, everybody was real centralized right there. And so you
Yeah.
had this really healthy competition.
Yeah.
It was very
Mm.
healthy. It was
Mm.
like super inspiring because you wanted people to succeed because, high tides rise all boats or whatever the term is.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that really, if people were doing well, it helped so many other people. And then it encouraged you to like get to that starting line, you know, like fire the gun and go
Yeah.
and do the best you can. And those are so that like the environment
Yeah.
of Music Row was so positive and inspiring
Yeah.
and healthy, that community.
You just yeah,
Then
you said the word right there. Just such a community, just a wonderful community, and you grew up in the thick of that. Of course, your dad being one of the Nashville A team guys, guitar player,
yeah.
and just awesome to be raised in that environment. What a legacy to carry forward, and you've done that, which is wonderful.
Oh,
So
well,
that's
thank
yeah.
you. And that was the second half of that was being in the studio while that music's being made,
Hmm.
be around um, producers, publisher. Like I said, the writers would be there sometimes and just watch those performances. There weren't computers and all that. It was
Right.
analog tape, and like
Yes.
you
Yes.
saw the mechanics after the community part.
Yeah.
You see the mechanics, like the guts of how these records are made, and
Yeah.
the love and compassion, everything that was put into it. And so it such a gift. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
when I say my prayers, and I'm not even kidding, I thank God, because I know I can't even believe that He was so kind to me to
Yeah.
put me
Yeah.
with the
Yes.
people He put me with, my parents and grandparents all the way back, but
Yes.
also right in Nashville, in the music scene, in the music business,
Yeah.
growing up in Goodlettsville, going to Goodlettsville High School, like He's just been so kind to me my whole
Absolutely.
life. So
Yes. Yes.
I really look at Nashville like that, in my upbringing and my career, like with such gratitude.
Yeah.
So
Well,
absolutely.
that's a great legacy to have grown up in, and just that heritage of music. And like I said, you've carried that forward. I still have visions of 1997 winning that single of the year for Strawberry Wine, and running out there and jumping on Ricky Skaggs in front of the world.
Yes. Yes.
And that
Yes.
must have been a culmination of those feelings, though, because you grew up in that heritage, and then here you were, in that very blessed position to be able to do this. Or is that kind of what you were thinking?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, because my dad worked with Ricky when Ricky first came to town, he loves bluegrass. He was a big bluegrass fan, and could play the just snot out of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happened that night, I have to tell you, Ricky and I were standing on the side of the stage because I had just performed, and Trisha Yearwood was over there with us, and I kind of remember that super vividly. And we were talking about Goodlettsville Elementary School, and he was like, "Did you have Mr. Weatherman?" I said, "No, I always wanted him. I had Miss Atkins," and we were going through these teachers at our school
Yeah.
because he went there. He was a little older than me, and he goes, "Oh shoot, I got to go announce this award. I'll be right back."
That's
And
neat.
he ran out, and that's why he goes, "Well, my goodness, the pride of Goodlettsville, Tennessee," because we had just been talking, and that's when my cheerleader came out, and here I go, and jumped on him because it gives me chills still because
Yeah.
we had just been having such a personal conversation,
Yes. Yes.
and I took that out on the stage,
Yeah.
not even thinking about it, like.
Yeah.
His face when I came towards him, it's all the things I'll remember, like, and he goes, "I just had my back adjusted today," and
Well,
so,
but that's a beautiful expression of community, like you said. I mean, that's just because
yes,
you had a similar background, and you knew each other, and you felt comfortable to do that, which is
right.
awesome. And you've had so many great, great songs, not just Strawberry Wine, but so many through the years. And how many albums have you done now? I'm thinking 7, or is there more than that I'm not
I
counting?
think it's right around, I think it's 8.
Okay.
And then there might have been a greatest hits one as well that Capitol did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, isn't that funny? I always say I've done like 8 records, which in the span of time is not that many, but at the same time, nobody even knows. Like, they go back to record 1 because it was the most familiar, the first
Right.
introduction, like the
Right.
most fun, the most successful, all that, and that's fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I got to tell you, Deana, I love that album, The Chain, which is a nod to your
Oh,
dad's work. I love that one.
yep. Thank you.
Yeah, it includes The Boxer, and that of course your dad played on that, and so many great songs on that one. And then we actually played Southern Way of Life at the beginning of this show and
Oh,
that's your own
nice.
label, right?
Yeah, that's Little Nugget because he had Nugget Records
Oh
when
yeah,
I was
awesome.
growing up.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so I
perfect.
just got took the moniker, the emblem for Nugget, which is a rainbow with a pot of gold at the bottom, and did Little Nugget because I didn't want to deal with all the back catalog
Yeah,
red
right,
tape. I was just like,
right.
let's start fresh.
Yeah, good for you. That's good. Well,
So yeah,
well,
so
that's a
thank
great
you.
album.
That's sort of
Yeah.
thank you. That
Yes.
was really a fun little experiment. Because growing up, I mean, I've produced or co-produced all of my records. I didn't get credit on the first one
Hmm.
because that's not what they did back then,
Yeah.
for artists. But I did. I mean, we brought Chris Farron in at the end of that to wrap it up and help finish it. But a lot of hard work with Jimmy Bowen and
Yeah.
me, and we were sweating it out. It took forever to get it finished and get it done, but it's really, again, community. It takes a village, right,
Yeah,
to get
absolutely.
things
Yeah.
going. But Southern Roots, that record was just so much fun to do at my friend James's house, and like it was just a different approach,
Yeah.
and the songs are
Yeah.
different and cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're we had mentioned that you're carrying that legacy forward, but you're also sort of investing at least your music and maybe some guidance in some of the newer artists that are out there now too, and doing their thing. We had talked off mic about some of that. Tell us a little bit about what that's about.
Well, you know what? First of all, pinch me that I've had any influence on any young person,
Hmm.
and hopefully it's a good influence. Like that's what you want,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so far so good. And I've been invited to collaborate with some of the new ones coming up, and have been really impressed with their talent. The thing nowadays is they're in just the world we live in, they're so fast. Like they get product out real fast,
Yeah.
their ideas out really fast. Like it's really impressive to see how gifted they are,
Yeah.
just technically, technology and stuff, to be able to
Yeah.
like here you
Yeah.
go, we just worked on this song, and you can go from there. It's just they're very creative, and they know how to use the tools
Yeah.
to get their thoughts out and their ideas out for the most part. Because if you don't have that these days, on top of all the social media they're responsible for, all that stuff, y'all
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is a lot. And I'm very impressed with them being able to be so self-contained in that way.
Yeah.
So that's really,
They have to wear a lot of
that's
hats.
Yeah. Lots of
it's
jobs.
inspired. I'm like, oh my gosh, just don't let me go in here sounding like a grandma. I'm like, do do I wear my glasses? No. Like just try act like you can see, or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's really, really cool. Now, having said that, you also have to slow them down and tell a
Yes.
story,
Yes.
to creatively guide them in, what I've found, some of the people I write with being so young, they're like the whole
Mm.
story's in the first line.
Yeah.
And I say, all right, let's take those first four words. We're going to do an exercise
Mm.
and make the first line of the song just those four words.
Mm.
Now, we're not going to keep it that way, but let's just practice and see what that feels like. And you can see their eyes just go, what?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, you're
and
teaching them a
so
craft.
yeah,
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
it's really fun. It's fun because it's like having a training session at the gym.
Yeah.
For both of us,
Mm.
like for all of us in the room, because I love it. I love the collaboration like that, and
Yeah.
being inspired and trying to be inspiring.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you young and rolling.
Yes. Hey, you have a newer artist that is opening for you in McMinnville. Her name is Kennedy, and I interviewed her the other day, and she loves you so much. She's looking forward to that, and you've been quite an inspiration to her entire life.
Oh wow! Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good
I can't
artist.
wait. Anytime we do shows in Tennessee too, those are my people. Wherever, east, west, north, south,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I feel at home in Tennessee wherever I am, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what do you have happening besides the concert coming up? You're touring as well, right?
Oh yes, guys, we have been doing like 100 shows a year for the past 4 or 5 years, some 4 years for sure.
Wow.
And if you add a travel day on each side of just each show, which is, that's like 300 days that we've been,
Yeah.
we're out on the road, and I'm loving it
Good.
because every year the crowds,
Yeah.
it's generational. You see people bringing their kids, which
Yeah.
we encourage.
Yes.
You got people, loving to share generationally the music, and so our crowds keep growing, and they're
Yeah.
singing all along and all the songs and all that stuff. So
Well,
super excited about that.
we mentioned the heyday, of Nashville, back in the older heyday, but the 1990s were a heyday as well, and you were such a huge part of that, and are still so very vibrant in carrying that forward as well, and that's what you mean, I guess. The people are coming and they're singing the songs, that you had that were hits in the 90s, but also the newer stuff that you're doing now. So it is a generational thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Oh, it is so, like I said, inspiring. You have to stay inspired in your life and keep moving. Just keep moving. It's just like your physical health, whatever. You got to just keep moving and never quit. There's so many times. I think that was Bruce Springsteen, or like the artists that I've heard do interviews, and they're like, because we all go through seasons where whatever it is in life, and your career's no different, where you're like, am I still relevant? Is this like nerdy? What did Hayes, my son, used to say? Mom, it's so cringy. Like when I had little, when he was little, and it's not his fault, but I'm saying you become highly aware of being cringy when you have kids.
Yeah. What do you mean? But what do you mean by that, Deana? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, do y'all have kids?
I do. I have a grown daughter,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay, so and you felt this way when your parents, it's like preteen or whatever, and you're just mortified that they're
Yeah.
in the room or
Right.
dropping you off,
Yeah.
or whatever. You're cringy
Right.
to them.
I got you. Yeah.
And
Yep.
so when I was cringy, I'm like, gosh, is this like reality? Should I quit doing what I need to be doing? It's funny because your equilibrium emotionally can really be affected
Yeah.
by what you're going through in your life. So
Yeah.
I've heard other artists say it too, career wise. Like,
Yeah.
do I need to quit or keep going? So the point is, never quit.
Yeah.
Never listen to the cringy voice. Just be
Yes.
aware.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you
Adjust where appropriate.
you obviously have a very clear sense of who you are artistically, and you just put those any of those thoughts out of your head, because you definitely have a clear vision of who you are as an artist, and that's evident.
We're glad you kept going.
Yeah. So tell us.
Thank you.
So McMinnville, Tennessee is coming up. Tell us a little bit about that, Brenda Lynn.
Yeah, August 10th, and you can get tickets at onfireconcerts.com. Kennedy is opening up the evening, and then Deana Carter live.
Deana Carter.
Beautiful theater, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, can't wait. It's going to be so fun. Y'all come see us. We're going to have such a good time.
And I'm assuming DeanaCarter.com will let people know if they want to see you in other spots around the country. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just Deana.com. Real simple.
Oh, good.
Yep.
DEANA.com. All right.
You got it.
Cool.
You got it. So y'all
Cool.
come check it and follow me on social media. My YouTube got hacked. I have
gosh.
that's down. So we're still working on that little
Yeah.
minion, whoever did that. We're
Yeah.
going to find out who it is.
Right.
But we've got Instagram is Deana Tunes, X is Deana Sings, and
Nice.
follow me on socials too, and you can check out where we are.
Love
Very
it.
good. Thank you for being on our show.
Yes. Thank you so much, Deana
Thank
Carter.
you.
Appreciate
Thank you for having us.
it. All right.
Thank
Thank you so much.
we'll see you. We'll see you there.
We'll see you
Yes.
there.
All right. Take
All right,
care.
Bye,
thanks.
Deana.
Bye.
Thank you.